Hi everyone, this is journal entry number 2 for MN668. With this journal entry, I'm just going to discuss a patient encounter that happened last week, which I found, I don't know, it was interesting, but I think it was typical and routine. The patient was a 50-year-old Caucasian female. She had recently been divorced and she had just started a new job. She, for a long time hadn't been in the workforce. And so she was coming back into working full time and being a recent divorcee. Um, she was struggling with anxiety and depression, having some life altering changes in her life recently. And um, like normal, was having difficulty with coping. Not saying that that's normal, but it is something that does happen when you have life altering changes in your life that are very abrupt and you don't realize how they're going to impact you, especially with your mental health. So she had increased anxiety um, and typically suffers from mild depression episodes that were pretty, recurrent. Nothing that where it was life altering, where she couldn't function normal, or where it was taking away from her ability to perform like daily activities. So she was still, able to go out with her friends, interact socially, um, be with her family and her kids. So it hasn't affected her or changed her in any way. She's just noticed that her anxiety levels have increased, especially with having to go back into the workforce. Being a single woman now, and at 50 years old. So those were pretty life-changing events for her. It was, I would say, for this encounter, I didn't have any judgments or biases, really, to be honest with you. I did feel like maybe the patient didn't think, I could understand where she was coming from. Just because, I'm a student, I'm listening in, and she just, it, gave me that kind of vibe. But, there was no like judgmental or no judgment with the encounter. I would say that with this patient, I would continue to provide care for the patient. I feel like she was just going through a milestone in life, and those things always happen. It's nothing can't um, that she can't like overcome, or her anxiety will probably go down once she continues like with the routine. But like I said, life altering changes, whether they're big or small, can impact us all, and we just don't know how we're going to react or what coping mechanisms we'll need. She definitely utilizes cognitive behavioral therapy, which is awesome. I believe that will probably help her the most. She did not want any like extra medication for PRN. She felt like her medicine was helping at the current at her current level of just the sertraline 10 milligrams daily. She felt like that was, okay, and she didn't want to do anything further. So, but I think that, it would be appropriate to provide this patient with continued care. I just believe that, she's going through a life change, and that can be impactful. And it was, just seeing how she was going through it, adjustments she was making, was a learning opportunity for me, especially with someone that isn't, that I would say they're, in the midpoint of their life. So it was, just a really good learning opportunity for me, just to see, a patient who's living a normal life but has some changes, and it, has just increased her anxiety and depression for hopefully, a short amount of time, for a small period of time in her life. But I hope you enjoyed my journal, and you will see me next week.